Dear students, today we are going to learn the most difficult segment of 12th grade accounts, which we call oversubscriptions. This segment is tough because of the methods used in the textbook and also the methods taught in the school. So I'm going to teach you the whole thing by using a magical table. In this table, once you put all the numbers given in the question, you will get the answer with no difficulties. This particular sum comes every year as 8 marker. So let us learn it using that table.
Let's look into the PPT slide. There's a very good example given wherein it's mentioned the company has got an authorized capital of rupees 1 lakh. Company has issued 6,500 shares and they are going to collect that 10 rupees nominal value by 4 rupees application, 3 allotment, first call 2 rupees and second call 1 rupees. Public has subscribed for 10,000 share. That itself tells you that it is a case of oversubscription. The company has got the rights to give the share to the person whom they want. So company has allotted in the following ways. Mr. A who applied for 4,000 got 4,000 shares. B who applied for 3,000 was given only 2,000. C got 500 and D who applied for 500 did not get a single share. Now how do you post this whole thing in the magical box? You start writing share applied and then share allotted. We are talking about the number of shares. So whatever category the question gives you, you have to simply put that straight away. 4,000, 3,000, 2,500 and 500 is what I have written as applied and allotted is what company has given them. So now if you see the total, public subscribed 10,000 shares and company gave 6,500 because company had only that many shares to give. Now what is the next column? Amount received. Somebody who applies for 4,000 pays you the application money of 4 rupees, isn't it? That is what it is. So 4,000 into 4, 16,000. Same way you have to fill up the entire boxes. 4 3s are 12, 4 25s are 100 and 4 5s are 20. So this is how I get the amount received. Now amount received is okay. Can we put all this amount into share application or share capital? This is the money you received 40,000 in the form of share application. So what is the next entry we usually pass? Application to share capital. The question is, can we put this 40,000 in share capital? Now the answer depends on the allotted shares. Somebody who applied 4,000 was given 4,000, so you can put this entire 16,000 to the share capital. But someone who was given only 2,000 share, the company cannot take 12,000. Company can take only 2,000 into 4, that is 8,000. So what will the company do with the remaining 4,000? Company will adjust that excess amount. 12,000 minus 8 is 4,000, and that excess amount they will not refund but transfer it to the next call, that is share allotment. Now in a company there will be millions of equity shareholders who will always pay a little more. If company will start refunding that money, company will have time only to do that. So that is the reason why they will transfer it to the next the level, that is share allotment. Now just to remember this part, I have put a figure of the glass. These are all glasses. Okay. So what happened in a glass when you pour water and it completes? It will, if it fills in the top, it will get overflowed to the next glass. That's what happened over here. When the share capital box got filled, What happened? The extra amount went to the next level, that is share allotment. Now look into the third part. This is the most interesting part, and this actually help you understand how the flow goes. Over here, we got 10,000, that is 2,500 into 4. What did we do after that? We had to transfer to share capital. What amount? Only 500 into 4, because we have only given 500 shares. So that is 2000. Now after that is what we have to understand. Very, very important part. Now we understand 10 minus 2 is 8,000. Can we transfer 8,000 to share allotment? It's a big question. For that, we have to understand what is the capacity of this box. Every box carries certain capacity to hold the water. Okay, so how do we know the capacity? 500 into 3, that is 1500. So the maximum amount what I can put in this box is 1500. In this box, what is the maximum amount? 2000 into 3, that is 6000. That is the reason why I could keep 4000. But over here, if it was 7000, I could have kept only 6000 here and 1000 here. Okay, so this capacity of box is very important to understand the sum. If you don't understand this part, every journal entry will go wrong. So please understand what has happened over here. 10,000 minus 2,000. 8,000 is the excess amount, but I cannot transfer 8 over here because the capacity is 1500. So I transferred 1500. Still, I have got 6,500 in my hand. Can I transfer 6,500 here? No, because again the same logic. 500 into 2 is 1000. 500 into 1 is 500. So when I got an excess of 8,000, I put it over here. Still, there was an excess of 5,000 which I have to refund. I can't keep somebody's money. Okay, so this amount has to be refunded. The last case, 500. He is not a shareholder. We did not give him any shares. That is the reason why we have to refund this entire 2000. Once this table is done, it might look a little tough to develop this table, but believe me, once you do one or two sums, it will hardly take a minute to do this table. And that 1 minute will help you to score 4 marks. I'll explain that as well. Now let us understand what happened is amount received is 40,000. So that is your first entry. Bank account debit to share application 40,000. Now what did you do with 40,000? You transfer to share capital 26,000. Allotment 5,500. First call 1,000. Second call 500. Refund 7,000. This top will become your next journal entry. Share application debit 40 to share capital to allotment. Now the first call and second call, okay, as per the accounting term, we have to use call in advance and club this figure and write 1500. Refund is nothing but reversing your bank entry, the initial entry. So you write to bank and you get 7,000. This is how you make your table and pass the initial two entries. The use of table will become more prominent when there is call in arrears. Let's learn that as well. Now let's read this particular statement where they have written about Sanjay and others being the defaulters. Sanjay, Rajiv, Amir being the defaulters at the call in arrears. Now Sanjay falls under the category A. That means he is someone who belongs to this category. Please understand, in one category there will be many shareholders. So don't be under the impression that one person applied for 4,000 and he was allotted 4. There can be 40 people who has applied. Okay, we don't write the name, we just write categories. So in this category, there is somebody by the name Sanjay who has got 100 shares, could not pay the allotment. Okay, the word allotment has come over here. Okay, so they could not pay the allotment. So how do you find out the call in arrears? What is the allotment figure? 3. Sanjay holds 100 share. 100 into 3 is what the call in arrears is for Sanjay. Rajiv, he belongs to which category? Category B. That's the second one. Now, can we say that Rajiv, who holds 300 shares, we can say 100 into 3? That would be wrong because the category 2 also indicates that there is a case of oversubscription. Oversubscription means somebody paid little more. So you have to find out what is the amount he paid a little more. So let us understand that part. The word held means he's been allotted 100 shares. So out of this table, I move here and I write 100 just below allotted. When I wrote 100 here, I have to find what is the number of shares he might have applied for. Now, which category he belongs to. With that, you have to do the cross multiplication. So 100 into 3000 divided by 2000. So once you do this multiplication or cross multiplication, you will understand the number of shares he has held. Same thing you can find out by a little bit of smart mathematics. If you see this 2000 has become 100, that means 2 has become 1, 30 has become 2 zeros. So in this 3000 also, what you will do? You can just do the same thing. Let's say this, consider this as 2000, right? So 20 has become 10, 2 zeros have become 1 0. So 30 will become 15, 2 0 will become 1 0. So I will get 150 as the answer. This is called as smart mathematics. Only looking into the figure, you can get the answer. If not, do a cross multiplication, go by the traditional method and get your answers. So what is the amount Rajiv will pay you? The Rajiv is going to pay you 150 into 4, 600. What is the amount you transfer to share capital? 100 into 4 because you only gave him 100 shares, 400. Now this will help you to understand that the excess amount he paid at the time of application was 200. Now when we have to make the call due for allotment, the amount due for allotment, how do you do it? He was holding 100 shares into 3. 100 into 3 is what you're going to ask. So basically he is due for 300 rupees. But if he is insolvent, you cannot say 300 is at fault because he already paid 200 excess. So 300 minus 200, you will know that the call in arrears is only and only 100 rupees. For whom? Rajiv. Let's talk about Amir here. Amir who applied for 300. Look, these words are very important. Applied and held. Held means allotted. Applied means he has applied. So straight away this 300 will come here. What would be the shares he was allotted? Same thing. 3000 became 300. So 2000 became 200, isn't it? So this is how we can use the smart mathematics and do it. So now once we got this figure, same thing we are going to do 300 into 4, that is 1200, and the amount what we got is 200 into 4, 800. We realize that there is an extra or excess amount what he paid, that is 400. At the time of allotment, he was allotted 200 shares, right? 200 into 3 rupees you are going to charge, that is 600. But he is not a defaulter of 600 because he had paid 400 excess. That means only 600 minus 400, 200 is what the call in arrears is. Both the thing has been clearly mentioned in step number 1, 2, 3 and 4. I'm sure you will understand this step. Now, how do you put it in your journal entry? The second entry is your due entry for allotment, share allotment to share capital. Now, what is your share allotted? 6,500. What is the amount you ask? 3. So you get 19,500. Now, after this step, one important step you have to understand. Okay, this is one thing which many students make mistake. Now, what is the next journal entry? Bank account debit, call in areas debit to share allotment. So just write down the journal entry as it is. First thing, what is the figure you're going to write for share allotment? You cannot write 19,500 because in the last previous PPT slide, if you notice, you have collected 5,500. So obviously that person will not pay you again. That is why the amount to be written in the credit side would be 19,500 minus 5,500, 14,000. If you write this 19,500 down, everything will go wrong. So be very careful with this figure. Call in areas, just now we found out for Sanjay, Rajiv and Amir. So I wrote 600. So 14,000 minus 600 is the amount which will come in my bank, that is 13,400. This is how the table helps you to find the call-in areas. If the table is not done in the school, probably teachers will give you some formulas to do. At times the formulas are quite confusing because the same formulas are used for this and this, except that the denominators and numerators keep on changing. So if you make this table, all the things would be in front of you. You don't have to see your sum again and again. So this is how we learn over subscription. Now I will try to do 3 more sums, 2 or 3 sums on an Excel sheet, which will help you to understand how to make a table and do the sum properly. Let us do sum number 47 from illustration, and this sum had come in the board exam. If you can't see the sum properly over here, then please refer the textbook. It is about XL Limited, who have issued 1 lakh shares, and there have been an oversubscription of 3 times. So you have to understand 3 times. If there is 1 lakh share, I will simply write here 1 lakh, and 3 times means is 3 lakh. This is the first thing I will write on the table. Also, I also have a practice of writing the application amount of 3 over here, allotment 4 over here, and 3 over here. So it becomes 10 rupees, the nominal value. Also, I'll just write it down over here, share applied 3 lakhs, and share allotted is 1 lakh. Okay, these are your small things to be written so that you don't forget it. Now they are saying they have given us 2 categories. The first category is 1 lakh 60,000. They got 80,000 shares. The second category 80,000 got 20,000 shares. They have also told us an information that 20% of the shares are rejected. 20% of 3 lakh, that is 60,000, right? So they got rejected. This is how you make your table. Now, once this is done, we have to find out if someone has applied for 160 share, what is the amount he will pay? 160,000 into 3. This is what he is going to pay. Same thing with others also, right? So this is how they will also make the payment. 80,000 into 3. 60,000 into 3, and this is what your total would be. That means at the time of application, I got 9 lakhs. I can straight away write it over here. Bank account debit 9 lakhs to share application 9 lakhs. So my first entry is done. I can assure that I will get at least 1 mark for this. Share capital. What is the amount you will transfer to share capital? For this, you have to look into the allotted shares. 80,000 into 3, 8 3s are 24, 8 2s are 60. This is how I can transfer. Now 4 lakh 80 I received, 2 lakh 40 I put in share capital. What is remaining? 2 lakh 40,000. Now once I put this 2 lakh 40, I should be assured that I have the capacity to put 2 lakh 40 in that box. So what is the capacity? 80 into 4, that is 3 lakh 20 is the capacity of this box. That means I can transfer 2 lakh 40. Over here, what is the capacity? 20 into 4, that is 80,000. I cannot put the entire 1 lakh 80 over here, because understand the capacity is only 80,000. So I put 80,000. So 2 lakh 40 minus 60,000, you got 1 lakh 80. Out of 1 lakh 80, 80,000 has been sorted. Still 1 lakh is there. Can you transfer 1 lakh over here? First call, no, because 3 2s are 6. 60,000 is what the amount is there. Now, what is the remaining amount of 40,000 you're going to do? You have to return that money to this person. Same thing, category 3, we did not give him any share, so we can't take his money. So I'm going to write it over here as 180. I hope this part is clear. So once this is done, we just have to write down the journal entry. Again, what's the journal entry here? Share application, you have to debit 900,000 to share capital, to share allotment, to bank. And from where do I get? From the table itself. Look, all the figures are there, no? All the figures are there. Not only to bank, but also there is to call in advance. So these are the figures. I will take the total column 3 lakh, 3 lakh 20, 60,000 and 2. So this is how I have done my first and second entry. Now once this entry is done, I always ask students to cancel this figure of 3 lakh. I am just marking it yellow so that I don't take this figure any further. Now my concern would be only with this figure of 1 lakh. So when I make my call due, what is the journal entry I will pass? Share allotment debit to share capital. What are the figures? 1 lakh. Don't write 1 lakh. It's 1 lakh into 4. So it is 4 lakh. Same thing over here. I will transfer, I'll put the figure as 4 lakh. Now after that, let us understand if there is any call in arrears. The issue was subscribed, excess money was transferred, all the calls were made duly except final call belonging to category 1 who had applied for 320. His shares were forfeited and reissued. So there is no call in arrears when we talk about allotment. Now importantly, don't forget that you had already received 3 lakh 20. at the time of application, those people will not pay you again. So your journal entry would be bank account debit 4 lakh minus 3 lakh 20 is 80,000 to share allotment 80,000. So that part is also done. Now let's move on to the first call. Let us make the first call due. Same thing, 1 lakh into 3. So first call debit to share capital, that is 1 lakh into 3. So that what is done. Now what has happened is there is one person who falls in category 1 applied for 320. So I will just write below application 320. If he applied for 320, how many shares he will be given? You can simply do a cross multiplication, 320 into 80,000 divided by 160, or as I told you, you can use the smart math. 16 2s are 32, 8 2s are 16, right? And then that 40 became 10. Obviously, same thing, the same logic. So 160. So he applied for 160. He did not pay the first call. So 160 into 3. That is your call in arrears. I'll write here bank account debit, call in arrears debit to first call. So that is 3 lakh. And this would be, as we understood, 160 into 3. Don't do the mistake of writing 320 into 3. 320 is the shares applied. Okay, we are only concerned with the shares we gave to him. So this is how it looks like. I hope this part is clear. So this is where the table helps you in this case. If somebody was defaulter in the case of allotment also, we will further take this table to next level and do it in the next sum. At this point, I hope this part is clear. Now there is one thing which we missed out, and that is the call in advance. Somebody had paid you, right? You credited over here because it was a liability. Same thing has to be debited as well. So your call in advance has to be debited and that liability has to be cancelled. Okay, so this is something which most of the students forget, this part and this 320. So we have to be very careful with this and then only do the sum. Now we get the right answer. So this is how you complete the initial two entry. Then comes an entry where they are saying his shares were forfeited. How many shares are forfeited? 160. So what's the journal entry? Whenever you forfeit, you write share capital. What amount? 160 into called up value. What is called up? Since the first call of 3 has been done, we can say the called up is 10 rupees. So we get the figure as 16,000. That is your share capital. 2, call in arrears. What is the call in arrears we found for this person? 480. 2, share forfeiture. Now this is one figure which many students do as a balancing figure, 16,000 minus 480. But I always suggest to understand and do it by yourself. Now how do we understand that? What is the amount he has paid? Now if you know he has not paid you the first call of 3 rupees, he did not pay 3. What does that mean? He paid you 7. So 160 into 7 if you do, you will get your answer. All right. So this is how you understand what is share forfeiture. Don't go by the balancing figure all the time, because if you do the balancing figure, this share forfeiture is something which is useful in the next entry as well. Now after you cancelled, what they have done is they have reissued at 15 per share, assuming it is fully paid up. That means they have issued at what price? 160 into 15. This is the price at which they have issued. That itself tells us that they have issued it at premium. So equity share to SPR, right? You write SPR, you can write anything what you want. You can write security premium reserve, SPR, share premium, and this comes as this figure, and this will be 800. Now after that, the last thing what is left to do is to transfer the share forfeiture. Where do you transfer it? To your capital reserve. So you're going to transfer it. What amount? 41120. Since it is fully reissued, that full forfeited amount, this amount would be transferred to the capital reserve. So that is the reason why I asked nobody to use the balancing trick, because if the call in arrears is wrong or share capital is wrong, this forfeited figure goes wrong as well as the final figure goes wrong. I hope this sum is clear. We will do one more sum so that the table is very much clear and you understand every aspect of it. Let's look into one more sum, and that sum is 87th from the unsolved. The sum is about Raja Limited, who are issuing 50,000 shares, and on application, on allotment first call, they are taking the money. Application received is 70,000. That itself tells you that it is a oversubscription case. So I will write 70,000 in the total column. And in the other column, I will write the figure 50,000. Now, if you notice, there is no category as such. That means we just write it over here as 70 and 50,000. Now we will do the same thing. On application, it is 3. So I'm going to write here 3 rupees. Allotment, it's 5. I'm going to write 5 rupees. And first call, what it would be? If the total value is 10, obviously this would be 2. So now 70,000 into 3 is what I received. But what am I supposed to? Okay, I just wrote it in the wrong column. It should be here. Okay, so this is the amount which I received. What is the amount I should actually take? 50,000 into 3 rupees. So what is the excess amount? This is how the table is. There's nothing else. The excess amount has been transferred. Now I will be putting the same statements over here. Bank debit 2,10,000 to share application 2,10,000. Then what did I do with the application amount of 2,10,000? I transfer it to share capital and to share allotment. And I will transfer the figure 150 and 60,000. This is how I complete my first entry using the table. Once I do that, I'm going to cross this 70,000 so that I understand the company has got only 50,000 share, and that is what he is going to ask for it, right? So share allotment debit to share capital. This is my due entry. And what is the figure? 50,000 into 5 rupees. Same thing over here. We will write 2,50,000. So that completes our due statement. Now let's move on. There was Mr. Ramesh who applied for 700 shares, did not pay the allotment, and on his failure of that, the shares were forfeited. So let us understand about Ramesh. So I'm going to write over here outside the table Ramesh. He applied for 700. So how many shares he must have been allotted? Again, let's use the smart math. 70,000 became 700. 50,000 will become 500, right? And again, let's look into the other column. The amount what Ramesh paid you is 2100. The amount you should have taken is 1500. That means he paid you an excess of 600. This is the most crucial part of this sum. Now he paid you excess 600 at the time of allotment. What is the amount you asked from Ramesh? 500 into 5, that is 2500. What is the excess amount you got? That is 600. So if he is a defaulter, what is the call in arrears? 1900. This becomes very easy to understand when the table is in front of you. Now the same thing, you have to put it over here. Bank account debit, call in arrears debit to share allotment. I'll start with share allotment. What would be the figure? It won't be 2,50,000 because already we got 60,000, isn't it, in the initial entry. So this is how you get. Call in arrears, just now you found out 1900. And what is this figure? 1,90,000 minus 1900. So this is how we complete the Ramesh part, the call in arrears part. Then what is left? They are told very clearly that they are going to do the forfeiture part. Forfeiture for Ramesh share. How many shares? Again, please understand the number of shares given to Ramesh is 500. So you can forfeit only 500 shares. The forfeiture entry is share capital account debit. That is 500 into called up value. When are you cancelling his share? After allotment. So the called up value would be 5 plus 3, 8 rupees. Be very careful with that. Called up value is not the nominal value. Okay. So 4,000 is what? The share capital to be debited to call in arrears. Just now you found out 1900 to share forfeiture. What would that be? Again, if you do the balancing figure, you will understand it's 2100. Without balancing figure, the table also tell you that the amount received from Ramesh is 2100. So that clears out, that gives us 101% surety that our answer is right. Now the next thing is making the calls due, right? The first call due. Again, we have to be very careful when we are making the first call due. The journal entry is simple. First call to share capital. Now, when we talk about first call, what is it? How do you find it out? How many shares are there? Now you don't have 50,000 share. Be very careful with this. Out of 50,000, just now you cancel 500. Okay. So the number of share with us would be 49,500 into 2 rupees is what you are going to ask. So this is what it is, 99,000. Now when you ask this amount, did everyone pay? No, there is somebody by the name Adar who was allotted 500, did not pay first and final call. So I just write here Adar. He was allotted 500. What did not pay you? He did not pay the first and final call. That means the call in arrears for him would be straight away 500 into 2 rupees because he did not pay this 2 rupees. No, there is nothing. We don't have to do all these steps because this step we did to understand the excess money flown in allotment. Did any excess amount went to first call? No. So that is why we can straight away say Aadhar is a defaulter of 1000. The journal entry is bank account debit, call in arrears debit to first call. So that is 99,000. Call in arrears is 1,000 and this one is 98,000. I hope these things are very much clear. These are the sums which come in the board exam. So you should have your concepts clear. Now what did the company do? The company forfeited his share also. So what is the forfeiture entry for this one? Share capital debit. What amount? How many shares we are cancelling? 500 into what is the called up value? Since the first call has been called, that means the entire 10 rupees. So the answer is 5,000. To call in arrears, what is call in arrears we found out? 1,000. To share forfeiture amount, that is 4,000. Now I can get this 4,000 surety in a very simple way. He is having 500 share, he did not pay 2 rupees. That indirectly tells you that he has paid 8 rupees. 500 into 8 is what? 4,000. So we are sure our answers are all going right. Now the next part is the reissue part. Reissue is the most easiest thing. We should never go wrong. Out of the forfeited shares of 900, shares are reissued at 8 as fully paid. As fully paid means you assume 10 rupees has been paid, but you're giving at 8. So bank account debit 900 into 8. Forfeiture, the discount is called forfeiture here. 900 into 2. 2 equity shares, that is 900 into 10. This is our journal entry. Now the next and the most important part in this sum is about your capital reserve, the amount which has to be transferred. So that last line brings a massive change in the whole thing. The last line states that the share of Ramesh, okay, share of Ramesh is completely reissued. So I'm going to write over here Ramesh, and over here I'm going to write Aadhar. Now what happened is they have used Ramesh complete share. That means how many share of Ramesh? 500. So Aadhar's how many share you are using? 400, isn't it? So this is your fully reissued and this is called partly reissued. This is what we have to understand. For fully reissued 500 share, what is the capital forfeited amount, Ramesh? So I understand it is 2100. And for Aadhar, what is the forfeited amount? We have to find it out. We have to find out the forfeited amount because we cannot write the figure 1800 straight away. So what we will do is we will do a cross multiplication. We will write here 1800 and 500 here. For 500 shares, if you notice over here, okay, over here, sorry, for 500 share, we have got a forfeited amount of 4,000. So I am writing 500 share has got 4,000 forfeited amount. 400 share, what would be the forfeited amount? So I have to find the X. Okay, now how do I find? We can do a cross multiplication. So 4,000 into 400 divided by 500. So I got the forfeited amount is 3,200. Only that amount I can transfer. So my journal entry would be forfeiture account debit to capital reserve. What are the things? I have to add to 2,100 because it is fully reissued. 3,200 because it is partly reissued, minus there is 1,800. That is nothing but your discount. Don't forget to minus that. So this is how you get your figures. 21,100 plus 3,200 minus 1800. So we understand this is the final thing of the sum. I hope these two sums which I did today gives you a good idea about the table, how do you use the table and how fast can you do the sum. In many school, table is not recommended because teachers feel that students will take time to create table and lose their time to complete that particular sum. But the fact is, once the table is in front of you, you can never go wrong, especially in your call-in areas. Okay, the working note for the capital reserve is very important in this particular sum. This is a very rare sum which has got fully as well as partly reissue. I hope it is clear to all of you. Any doubt, please WhatsApp me or message me. So that's it for the day. I end the video for this particular segment, that is over subscription. The next video will have other details of this chapter. Thank you.